Deep in the heart of Nsambe village, where the great baobab trees stood like ancient sentinels, there lived a man whose name no one dared to speak. He was known only as the Night Runner, a shadow that moved through the darkness, unseen yet always felt. For years he tormented the villagers. He ran naked through the night, knocking on doors, pelting roofs with stones, and letting out eerie howls that sent chills down spines. Some said he could slip through locked doors, whispering nightmares into the ears of sleeping children. Others swore he could transform into an owl or a black dog, his glowing red eyes watching from the shadows. No one had ever seen him clearly. No one knew where he lived, but everyone feared him. Yet, despite their fear, no one acted against him, because it was said that he did not run with ordinary legs, but with the power of the spirits, the kind of power that, if angered, could curse an entire village. And so the people of Nsambe suffered in silence until the chief's son died. Tao was a strong and fearless young man, the pride of his father, Chief Zuberi. One evening, as he sat around the fire with his friends, he boasted, "If I ever catch that Night Runner, I will drag him to the village square and let the elders deal with him." It was the kind of talk that made the elders shake their heads. You did not challenge the unseen forces so openly. That night, Tao was found dead in his hut. No wounds, no sign of a struggle. But his face was frozen in pure, unearthly terror. The village was plunged into mourning, but behind the sorrow was something else. Fear. The Night Runner has claimed him. For the first time, even the most skeptical among them believed that their tormentor was no ordinary man. He was something else, something beyond human. But Chief Zuberi was not a man who bowed to fear. He had ruled Nsambe with wisdom for many seasons, and he would not let this evil claim another life. Zuberi summoned the elders and the village seer, a mysterious old woman named Mama Njiri. She was the keeper of the village's deepest secrets, the one who spoke to spirits when men dared not. "This thing that haunts us," Zuberi said, his voice firm, "it has stolen my son. It will not take another. Tell me, Mama Njiri, what must be done?" The old woman stirred a pot of smoldering herbs, her eyes rolling back as she whispered ancient words. Then she looked at the chief and spoke. "The Night Runner is neither fully man nor fully spirit," she said. "He is trapped between two worlds, and he draws his power from fear. The more you cower, the stronger he becomes." The elders exchanged uneasy glances. "Then how do we stop him?" one of them asked. Mama Njiri's wrinkled face darkened. "To defeat a creature of the night, you must fight it before the first cock crows, and you must not show fear." That night, Zuberi prepared himself. He was no longer just a chief. He was a hunter. He gathered 7 elders, the strongest and bravest, and together they drank from Mama Njiri's calabash, a sacred potion that would protect them from dark magic. Then they waited. Midnight came. The village was silent. The moon cast eerie shadows over the huts. And then a whispering wind, a rustling in the trees. Then tap, 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 a knocking at Zuberi's door. The elders tightened their grip on their staffs. The chief stepped outside, his heart steady. There, in the shadows, a figure stood. It was him, the Night Runner. He was barely human. His eyes burned red, his body gaunt, his fingers long and claw-like. He grinned, revealing teeth too sharp for a man. "You are brave, Chief Zuberi," he rasped, "but you cannot stop what you do not understand." Zuberi did not flinch. He took a handful of the sacred ash Mama Njiri had given him and flung it toward the Night Runner. A terrible shriek tore through the air. The creature fell to the ground, writhing, his form shifting between human and something else, something monstrous. The earth trembled beneath him. The elders surrounded him, chanting the old words of banishment. The shadows around the Night Runner thickened. His screams turned to howls. And then suddenly there was silence. When the dust settled, he was gone. Not dead, not captured, just gone, and he was never seen again. The village was safe, but Zuberi knew that evil had a way of returning. So, under Mamanjiri's guidance, the elders performed the rite of purification, a powerful ceremony to cleanse the land. They burned sacred herbs, buried charms at the four corners of the village, and made a decree. No man or woman shall practice the ways of the night runners again. No child shall be raised in fear of darkness, for fear itself feeds the spirits of the night. To this day, in Nsambe, no one dares to whisper about night runners, not because they fear them, but because they made sure no one would ever take up the cursed path again. And if a stranger comes to the village at night, seeking mischief, they will find only silence.